you wanted the best, you've got the best podcast, the hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com. Doing with our latest things that makes official. Welcome to the big show. For 16 years, going on 2,600 episodes, we bring you the Chris Voss Show. New shows, 48 shows a month. What do you want more from us, people? For the love of God, go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, linkedin.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss 1 on the TikTokity, and all those crazy places on the internet.
Opinions expressed by guests on the podcast are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the host or the Chris Voss Show. Some guests of the show may be advertising on the podcast, but it is not an endorsement or review of any kind.
Today we're talking with an amazing young lady. Her latest book came out May 4th, 2025, called Human Rights and Peace. Zafra Lerman joins us on the show today. We're going to be talking about her insights, her experience, her memoir, and all the good stuff that goes into her history, everything she's learned, and you're going to be smarter at the end of the show or else. Zafra is a scientist, educator, and humanitarian. She received a PhD in chemistry from the Weizmann Institute of Science. She in Israel and conducted research on isotope effects at Cornell and Northwestern universities in the U.S. and the ETH. Zurich, Switzerland. She developed an innovative approach to teaching science through art, music, drama, dance, and rap, which was successful with underprivileged kids around the globe. She worked on human rights cases in the former USSR and in China, Guatemala, Cuba, Peru, and South Africa, and was successful in preventing executions, releasing prisoners from jail, and bringing dissidents to freedom. She's the president of the Malta Conferences Foundation, which uses science, diplomacy, and as a bridge to peace in the Middle East by bringing scientists from all the countries in the Middle East together with Nobel laureates. Welcome to the show. How are you there, Zafra?
Thank you very much. Looking forward to being on your show.
Looking forward to having you. I
want to say that the title of the book is Human Rights and Peace, a Personal Odyssey.
Oh, okay.
Because there are a lot of just human rights and peace. This is a personal odyssey.
Mm-hmm. So give us a 30,000 or .coms. Where can people find out more about you on the interwebs, please?
About me, my website is zafralerman.com. The Malta Conferences Foundation website is Malta Conferences Foundation.org. And if people want to get in touch with me, my email is zafralerman.com. Mm-hmm. And I have another website that is the Lerman Institute for the Advancement of Science. And there is a YouTube that shows all the projects that students did by communicating science through drama, through dance, through songs. All that is in the YouTube.
So give us a 30,000 overview of what's inside the new book.
In my book is growing up in a developing country, feeling like I'm high society. My father was a pioneer. He came to build the country. He worked with our first Prime Minister, Ben-Gurion. And it shows the values that he instilled in me. And I usually like to say that for my 6th birthday, he left me in my shoe when I got up an envelope. And it was, today is your 6th birthday. I hope you will grow up to be loyal to your country, to your nation, and to your family. Pay attention to the order. And then he said, I'm giving you this amount of money for your birthday, and you will divide it to 3. One portion you will give the orphans that don't have their parents because their parents were killed in the Holocaust. 1/3 for planting trees in the country, and 1/3 you can do what you want. And I grew up with values of trying to help others, and this brought me to be very involved in human rights, and after September 11, to be involved in peace.
Peace
And I
is
still believe in peace, although today it sounds a very strange word.
Yeah. So this is a memoir of your experience and journey through some of the work that you did. Tell us more about where this took you. We mentioned a lot of times where you're negotiating for release of people that might be killed and kidnapped, et cetera, I think.
Correct. I started in the Soviet Union, and I could not enter the Soviet Union with an Israeli passport, and this is why I needed an American passport. Israel did not have a citizenship. And the way to do what I had to do is I came with a group of scientists always. And during the day, we gave lectures in different universities all over the Soviet Union. And at night, at dinner time, I would look who from the group looks to me reliable and that will not get scared, understanding that I am doing something different. And I would come, usually it was a woman, and I would say, look, if tomorrow morning I'm not here for breakfast, just call the American Embassy. And I took a crash course in Russian, so I will not need a KGB translator because everybody was a KGB. Even the tourist guys were KGB. So I would go in dark alleys and meet dissidents. Those were scientists that requested to emigrate from the Soviet Union. They were immediately fired, and then they were considered parasites in the States because they did not work. Many of them were sent to hired labor in Siberia. Many were arrested, and I would go, I would plan ahead of time, and knowing to speak helped me, and we would collect dissidents, and then at 2:00 in the morning, we would gather in an attic, in a dark attic. There would be like 40, 50 dissidents, all scientists, and I would distribute scientific material, magazines, because they were not allowed to get to scientific material, and if they would not read what's going on, they will lose their ability to practice as scientists. This was illegal. Then I gave them a seminar. This was illegal. And then I took all the resumes, CVs, and those of the ones in prison on hard labor. And I would bring it back to the States and start working on their behalf in order to bring out of prison or hard labor the ones that were there, and to help people to emigrate, come to the U.S. or where they want. And many of them are today free people because I did everything. I devoted my life to that. And then came Tiananmen Square, and I had to repeat the same story. It was much, much harder because in the Soviet Union, the families were very helpful. But in China, the families were very frightened. So the job was much harder, but I managed to work there, and there are a lot of scientists that tell me that if not me, they would still be in prison or hard labor or God knows what.
Or worse.
So it's always gives you a good feeling to know that there are people that have your freedom because you risk the life. And as a matter of fact, one of these people, usually I have it in front of me, he wrote a letter to nominate me for the Andrei Sakharov Human Rights Award, what I got. But he wrote that he always was puzzled why a person with freedom risk their life for somebody in the other side of the globe that is suffering, and this is called American Angel, even doesn't know the other person. And he said he came to the conclusion that the two people shared the same values. And he ended it by saying that people did a messy job for putting science back where it's supposed to do, work that you cannot see on the pages of scientific journals, but they made science humane and human.
Making it humane and human.
It's his words, not mine. It's beautiful words, but I cannot get credit for that.
Yeah. So you really feel that science diplomacy is a bridge to peace in educating everyone. Tell us about why that's important to you.
It's important to me because science can prolong life. Science, sadly, can cut life short. You know, you would not be able to develop weapon of mass destruction without scientists. So first, scientists from all the profession have a very high status with their government, not in the US, but all the rest of the world. Scientists have a very high status with their government. Second, they should have the responsibility to use the science for the betterment of humankind. So I feel that they have the responsibility. But science is international. There is only one more subject that is like science, is music. But musician, the government can do with or without, but they cannot do without scientists. Therefore, it's the responsibility of the scientists. Now, science is international. You know, a chemist in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, can communicate chemistry to a chemist in Bethlehem in the West Bank without even knowing a common language, and they will understand each other because science does not know language, doesn't know borders, doesn't know religion, doesn't know culture. Science is science. And therefore, I feel that by being such a universal language, that it can unite instead of separate, and it brings together what the Malta Conferences is doing, is giving these people that includes all the Middle East, all the countries out there, Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Israel, Palestinian, Saudis, everybody is there. And they can see what unites them rather than what separates them. It gives them a platform to learn to stop to demonize the unknown other. And it's a platform where they can form collaborations on subjects that no country can solve alone, like water, for example. The aqueduct in the Middle East, underground, go through a lot of countries. They don't know where the British put lines and made countries. So nature doesn't see these lines. Therefore, the scientists must work together to solve a lot of the problems of air pollution, climate change, water. So this is the purpose of the Malta Conference. And once these people can see that they can work together and growing the number, you can lead to peace. But I don't have to tell you that there are billions and billions of dollars to build weapon of mass destruction. Small portion of that would help to bring peace. But we have to beg for money in order to be able to have the conference. If we would have more money, you know, in order to have an atom bomb, you need a critical mass of uranium. Critical mass, it's an amount of uranium that below that you cannot build, the atom bomb will not work. So this amount and above is called the critical mass. You need critical mass of uranium to start a chain reaction. This is the basis of the atom bomb. I want to build a critical mass of scientists that will start a chain reaction for peace.
Oh.
It's my purpose in life. To make everybody study science. If the people that will be scientists, you don't have to worry about them. The worst teacher will not kill the science for them. People like me know by the age of 2 and 3 that they will be scientists because they already start their inquiry. But the 99.5% of the people must know science in a scientific technological society just to survive, just to read a regular daily newspaper that describes something in science. You have to have some background. Therefore, I developed this system that you can learn, and I evaluate the students like that. If a music student wants to show me his knowledge, he can sing it. So I had a music student that wrote a whole song about the depletion of the ozone layer. It was very accurate, but he wrote it like, I have plenty of nothing. And he was thinking, I have plenty of ozone. Beautiful song. He could perform it on the stage. And it was very accurate. And he was very happy to learn like that and to show his knowledge in a way that he feels strong. Another group of students, for example, wrote a love story between sodium and chlorine. Sodium and chlorine are forming table salt. Table salt is made of sodium and chlorine. So they wrote it exactly like Romeo and Juliet. They just followed Romeo and Juliet, and it was so accurate scientifically. And they formed the table salt because sodium fell in love with chlorine to make him his sweetest wife. And they explained there the structure of the atom and the character of the ionic bond. And the bond in sodium chlorine is called ionic bond because sodium gives his electron to chlorine. And then they are attracted because sodium becomes positively charged and chlorine negatively charged. But in water, this bond breaks. So because it was a Shakespeare tragedy, then a water molecule came and broke the marriage. And then they stood all of them with posture, learn to take every tragedy with a grain of, and the couple was salt.
So let's get a plug in here for the Malta Conferences Foundation. Tell us more about what you do there. What are you seeking? Donations, media coverage, et cetera, et cetera?
We seek everything because we have to raise the money by ourselves. We are 501c3 non-for-profit. So we have to raise the money for every conference. And the scientists that run it, and I'm the president, it's all volunteer. We don't have one paid employee. I have few students that work with me just because I love to be surrounded by students. I love to mentor people. I think everybody needs a good mentor to be successful in life. And I'm a good one because I received the presidential award from Bill Clinton for mentoring, so I must be good, right? You agree with me?
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, that's a beautiful award.
So break my lecture by saying I agree with you. Okay, so I love to mentor, and I mentor older people too. So everybody that wants to be mentored from your listeners, I'll be happy. But I pay them from my own pocket. And I'm a professor, emeritus. So therefore, 100% of money that we raise goes to the Malta Conferences. And the book, all the proceeds go to the Malta Conference.
Ah.
So everybody that buys the book already donates something for science diplomacy as a bridge to peace in the Middle East. But if you would attend this conference, and we have one coming in May 2026, it will be the 11th one. Nobody believed that I will pull off even one. People thought I'm crazy out of my mind when I came with the idea to suddenly bring all these people together. We are having the 11th one. But we need to raise the money for that. The Nobel laureates that come never take honorarium because they believe in the cause. So they even many times pay their own expenses to come. Mm-hmm. But if you would be there at the end of the week, you would think that you are watching a family reunion that came to an end, where the people hugging and kissing each other, tears in the eyes, and it's the Iraqis and the Israelis and the Palestinians and the Israelis. Everybody is hugging and kissing and sad to say goodbye. So it's something that, meanwhile, it's the only platform in the world that ever brought together under one roof scientists from all the countries of the Middle East. The only platform in the world.
So good stuff there. What are some of the offerings you have on your website? Do you consulting, coaching, speaking? What are some of the things we need to cover there?
Which website are you talking? I have three. Which one?
Well, I'm just the one of your name.com.
The one of my name.com will have about the teaching method and with examples that people can see. We'll have about my human rights. And then about Malta, it will direct you to the Malta website. Then I have a website devoted just to the education and explaining all these methods. And so in the book, I have a whole chapter on education that, because I lectured at least 1,000 lectures around the world on my education system, and always, this was before we could use streaming on the computer. I would have a CD or started with a DVD, and always people ask me, can we get it? Can we get it? What could I copy so many and send it all over the world, in Africa, in Asia, in Europe, in Australia, New Zealand? So now all these projects are on the website of the Lerman Institute that has a YouTube that has all the projects. But in the book, there is a very big chapter that describes it and has pictures. So if somebody is interested, the book describes it very well. And the biggest challenge is really even bigger than raising money, is getting a country that will give visa to all the participants. This is a very big challenge, because there is no country in the world that wants to give a visa to all this group.
Wow. Huh. That's pretty interesting. That's pretty interesting. What have we...
So getting the visa for everybody is a nightmare. And I have a whole chapter in my book titled From Mission Impossible to Mission Possible, just describing the techniques and the methods that are almost like 007 in order to get at the end the visa for every participant.
Ah, well, that's good then, right?
Think about it. The U.S. will let all these people, at least 7 countries or 8, there is a ban entering the U.S. Other countries have 2 countries that they don't want. It's usually the countries don't want Syria, they don't want Iran. Some don't want Iraq either. And now is the war, but let's talk for a minute before the war. Do you know what it takes or took to take the scientists from Gaza to come?
No, what?
Let me give you an example. Okay, Gaza has only two borders, one with Egypt closed permanently, never open. The other one with Israel. Now, remember that the conflict between Israel and Gaza is going on for years. It came to a blowout on October 7, but before that, rockets were thrown all the time. So there is one crossing called Erez Crossing, but they would not be able to fly from Israel. The country that usually let me have them fly through is Jordan. But they don't have a border with Jordan. So they must cross Israel to go to Jordan. So it used to take me 6 months to work with the foreign ministry of Israel. And then and they were very helpful. And then I would get a call. You have this window of 3 hours between midnight and 3 o'clock in the morning on that day. Tell your people to come to Erez Crossing. A military car will wait for them, take them from the south to the north to Allenby Crossing to cross into Jordan. So this is just to cross. But then I need a visa to the country where the conference is and a visa to Jordan so they can cross and enter. So several times, Jordan didn't want to give a visa to people from Gaza either. I had to use all my contacts there in order to bring them. So this is just a small example, the work that has to go in just to bring the people to the place you want them to meet it.
Well, it sounds like an interesting journey. As we go out, give people a final pitch out to order up your books and find out more about you on the different websites and work that you do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Zafra. Give us a final pitch out for people to order up your book and utilize your services there, what they can do and your .coms and all that good stuff.
Okay. The book is really a book for a lot of people. I came to the States. I was a single mom. And it's a book for single moms to see how they can be successful and even change the world. My pitch to everybody is you will feel good if you do something from somebody else, not only for yourself. This is what I pitch to my students. I pitch it to your audience. And the book is really a book that is calling for action, but there are a lot of funny stories in this book, a lot of funny encounters that I had in my life. So there is humor there. There is serious thing to save people from execution, and it shows everybody what one woman that came as a single mom with a child to the United States managed to do. What there are a lot of people that are better off because of that. My pitch is, please donate to the Malta Conferences. Please buy the book. This helps the Malta. It's now in paperback, online, on Amazon. If you buy the book, write a review on the book. And I'm sure if you want to join me in these efforts, my email is zafra@zafralerman.com. It's my name. My website is zafralerman.com. The Malta Conferences website where you can donate is maltaconferencesfoundation.org. And then we have the Lerman Institute for the Advancement of Science. And this, I think, is .com. I by myself don't remember all of them. But you can find a lot of information about me and how to help by just Googling. You will go for days if you just Google. This is my pitch. If you have any other question that you want to know, you can ask.
Well, thank you very much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And thank you.
Hopefully, you and your audiences will read my book.
And you can read the book by ordering it anywhere fine books are sold. It is entitled Human Rights and Peace, out May 4th, 2025.
A personal odyssey. There are a lot of... The title of... Here, I'll show you, and you can say it from the book.
Yep. Human Rights and Peace, A Personal Odyssey. It shows that on the Kindle edition only, so you may want to update the Amazon on the hardcover and paperback. It leaves off the Odyssey part.
Hardcover, paperback, and Kindle. It's all available.
Thanks for for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Facebook.com/Chris Voss, and YouTube.com/Chris Voss. Thanks for tuning in. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you guys next time. And that shows us out. Great.